tired of the pills, this fight to stay whole. Sickness and fatigue gnaw at the core of my soul. This ship on autopilot as the miles grow wide, just a passenger longing for Mercury's tide. The distance stretches with the cruelty of stars. A heartbeat echo from the mountains of Earth to the dead oceans of Mars. Her name like a whisper through the void that I drift. A fragile thread in this room that I sit makes me believe she's the universe's gift. If she knew the truth, would it shatter her glow? Could the light even reach where these shadows have grown? If the storm of her heart is the dark I must brave, am I strong enough for words I must say? And it hurts her heart to see how I rot, wishing for death here in the back of my thoughts. So maybe I can tell her when the world feels kind, but in the blackness of space, she's the dream in my mind. She's the signal of my compass's desire, my sun, my beacon, my eternal fire. They said a love like ours would be a collapse of the light, that we were doomed to orbit in an endless starless night. But I saw past the event horizon in your eyes, a steady burning sun I always recognized. I confess my supernova truth, you gave me yours. Now I'm charting courses past those old dead-end shores. I held you through the tremors, learned the scars upon your soul, and every jagged piece of you has made my spirit whole. And I just wanna find a way home, to the harbor of your heartbeat where I'm known. I plotted our escape from that dark side's pull. The gravity of ghosts is finally known. 'Cause you're all I want, you're all I seek. A future in the color of your symphony. So if you're brave enough to take my hand, we'll build our forever on this reclaimed land. The debris of the past still floats in silent, frozen streams. The echoes of the voices that infected all our dreams. But I have felt the pull of you, a cleaning constant force, a celestial affection setting our true course. I am not just passing through, I'm not a shooting star. I'm the willing, steady planet where you are. I've packed my bags with patience, fuel is faith and trust. My open hands are ready when you're ready to adjust. And I just wanna find a way home, to the harbor of your heartbeat where I'm known. We breached the event horizon, left the black holes ache, for the warmth of a new dawn we choose to make. 'Cause you're all I want, you're all I say. A future in the color of your symphony. So if you're brave enough to take my hand, we'll build our forever on this reclaimed land. The vast and the empty unknown. 'Cause home is not a place, it's the space where you've grown. Let the old stars scream and fade into the rearview night. We are traveling towards a softer, kinder light. My love is yours entirely. No event, no disguise, just the endless, safe expansion of our skies. So take my hand, take my hand. Our escape is complete. On solid ground we stand. All They call the space between us an impassable sea, a silent sentence, exile meant for you and me. But I have studied you with all the patience of the void, and in your sun-kissed heart my long eclipse is destroyed. You are the warmer love that circles closer to the sun. You are the echo that brings my entropy undone. A sculpture made of comet trails and steadfast molten core. The chaos sequence all my art was created for. And we have our orbit and oscillation, a living, breathing, dancing constellation, where Venus is the love and Earth the home we meet to build our heaven in the space between. You are the final catalyst that caused my atmosphere to ignite. And I am just your Mars, a willing satellite. I would turn my rust to gardens, make a world you call your own. If you would call this tender frequency, this steady sway, our common loving home. Let Venus be the morning star that blesses your approach. Let Earth be the witness on its blue and trusting coast. They are not walls but sacred spheres that teach us how to be two separate brilliant worlds in loving harmony. I see the calculations in your every graceful spin, the vulnerable crescent, the full light you let in. The gravity you wield is not a force but a request, a topography of patience I am certain I have missed. And we have our orbit and oscillation, a living, breathing, pulsing constellation, where Venus is the love and Earth the home we meet to build our heaven in the space between. You are the silent catalyst that caused my atmosphere to ignite. And I am just your Mars, a willing satellite. I would turn my rust to gardens, make a world you call your own. If you would call this tender frequency, this steady sway, our common loving home. I would not change your course or capture you in flight. I want to be the constant red that saturates your skies, to feel the gentle oscillation closer than apart. It's to learn the rhythm We've breached the final layer of pretense and of doubt. The words we spoke like lifelines pulled the buried secret out. Your I love you was my landing, the sum of all our days and fears. And in your eyes my restless soul finds all it reveres. Now we're in a tender space where could be turns to is. A fragile new formation built on every laugh we've shared and every risk. Our friendship is the shield that has carried us this far, and this new love's the open sky beneath the falling star. This is the sweetest danger, the most welcomed of all fights, to gently guide this passion, burning watchful through the night. I know the pressure of changes seems to tremble in the air, but I would never let a flame consume a thing so rare. This bond between us isn't just a spark, it is the ground, the silent static signal I have found. So trust the course we've plotted from the moment we began, and let this burning atmosphere prove love's enduring span, and bring us home. We'll ascend in small degrees, a slow and trusting climb, learning how to breathe this air we're making for the first time. No sudden moves, no reckless burns, just calibrating trust, transforming you and me to an inevitable us. The obstacles or orbit rings will navigate in time, with patience and now Andrew and your steady hand in mine. This is the sweetest danger, the most welcomed of all fights, to gently guide this passion, aim watchful through the night. I know the pressure of changing seems to tremble in the air, but I would never let a flame consume a thing so rare. This bond between us isn't just a spark, it is the ground, the silent fighting signal I have found. So trust the course we've plotted from the moment we began, and let this burning atmosphere prove love's enduring span, and bring us home. That fragile transmission, my roaring static plea, it found your hidden frequency, you answered back to me. The noise was just the testing ground, the breaking of the chain for a connection solid through joy and through the pain. Now let the silence ring out with the proof we can't deny. A clear channel forever beneath this same sky. Signal locked, trajectory true. All systems say only you. Initiating final approach to home. of every unspoken current, every gravitational tide, until the force that pulls us inward could no longer be denied. The shared and silent knowing lit the instruments of flame, a mutual surrender to a need we did not name. Not a crash, but a committing, a choosing of the burn, where every lesson learned is a point of no return. This is our lethal breaking, our rapid catastrophic orbital descent, to shed the speed of loneliness on trust that we have been, to let the friction of our forms tear atmosphere to lace, and write our names in plasma in this sacred branded sky. We are the ship and the sky and the fire all in one, a violent gentle merging beneath the twin-willed sun. Let the whole glow white with the beauty of the strain, as we turn our rapid orbit into permanent terrain. You saw the wild reflection in the dilation of my eyes, the supernova hunger you could no longer disguise, a psychedelic courage to unmap the old design and trace the raw topology of a frontier line by line. We wanted to be beautiful, a garden first in flame, not a wreck upon the mesa, not a cry without a name. To build the altar first and light the holy, trusting fire, to meet the deep desire within a cold inside. This is our lethal breaking, a rapid catastrophic orbital descent, to shed the speed of loneliness on trust that we have been, to let the friction of our forms tear atmosphere to lace, and write our names in plasma in this sacred blood expanse. A ship in the sky and the fire all in one, a violent gentle merging beneath the twin-willed sun. Let the whole glow white with the beauty of the strain, as we turn our rapid orbits into permanent terrain. Let the old orbits decay, let the equations all be new, let the spectrum of our touching be a frequency so true that it shatters the prism and drowns the static hiss and the overwhelming signal of a synthesized abyss. We are not losing control. settling heat, fading to glow, two singularities in one new gravity. The crater is a crater, the descent